And good morning, everyone. This is Mr. Kasarian, and welcome to another episode of our Let's Play series. So I found something in a chest. Builder's Wand. This thing is super useful. See? Super useful. So what we're doing today is we're actually building out our tank room, alright? Now, yeah, this is a little bit tricky. And I wanted to show you guys something fun with the machinist workbench. So let's put these in here. Now what we can do is we can code this in, right, schematic, and we can code these things in here. So let's say tank gauge and let's say I want to write this in for tank valves. Perfect. Now we can also clear it. And I just have to figure out how to return it to active duty. Huh. Why isn't it pulling it? Oh, set crafting grid clear, set clear. Okay. There we go. And now we can make some more glass panes for ourselves. Clear. Pull. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to continue making these iron tanks, and I'll be right back. So the other thing I wanted to show you guys is that we actually have our workshop set up. Nope, that's the laser room. Our workshop setup. Nice. Nice and well built. I use the ejector upgrades in here to automatically eject out here. So you can see it's automatically ejecting over into these iron chests. I even have an ME fluid terminal. ME crafting monitor, crafting terminal, my anvil, my rolling machine, which is important right about now, because I'm going to need 1, 2, start with 2. And I set all of these up for large batches as well. So these should run fine. But yes, I am still building the tank room, and I'll be back when I'm done. And we are back, guys, and what we're going to start working with now is a device from the Extra Cells mod. And it's part of the Extra Cells liquid storage system, which I think is pretty darn cool. So let's look up the fluid storage bus. Now, hopefully this whole thing works properly. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this thing up right there. Okay, it's connected. That's a good sign. That's a very good sign, actually. And if I open it up, you can see what's supposed to store in here and what its priority is. So let me make a couple tanks here, and I'll be right back, alright? Because I want to not derp this up too much. So I'll be right back. And we are back, guys. And what this thing is going to be is this is going to be the thing that stores my biofuel. Because I've decided to move actual biofuel production to my base itself. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go in here and I'm going to get a bucket. I don't have a bucket, so I'm going to make a bucket. Bucket. Yep. I'm in a mood today, guys. I'm sorry about that. Actually, no, I'm not. You guys can just deal with it. So let me grab a bucket of that, and let's configure this thing. You want to store ethanol, and hopefully this is going to work, alright? Everyone, be hopeful here. So now I'm going to come back in here. I'm going to find a fluid import bus. Alright, fluid import. There we go. pick this guy up here. Let me put him like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my portable tank, put it on top, and it's going to start draining, right? And it is actually going to start putting it into this thing. There we go. I just have to set it to rapid mode so it actually works properly and at a rate we could deal with. So you can see, holy jeez. Okay, we can turn that down a little bit, I guess. But as you can see, I'm just going to unload all of this stuff into our network. So I will be right back. Alright guys, so we are working right now on setting up our, at least the production from biomass into whatever that's called, ethanol. There we go. And we're going to need to configure a couple things. So let's get some biomass in a bucket form, please. And let me just come over here and take a look at my status on my ME cable. I got 12 of it. It's probably not going to be enough, but we'll see. So if you notice, there's this tall section here, and this section is actually what contains my tanks. And there are going to be 2 tanks, only 1 tank on each side, 2 rows going all the way down here. And that is fine. So let me activate my flight mode. Let's jump over here. Let's turn that off. Okay. And if I open up over here, I can get right back and over. Nice. Okay. So that'll come over here. And we're going to come up, right? And we're going to actually have... we're going to break that. And then we're going to have one of our fluid export buses sitting right about... I hope I can get this to orient vaguely correctly. And the answer is no. Like so. Okay. So now let's get our fluid ducts, and we're going to go 1, 2... Oh, really? You don't want to export like that, do you? Ew. It's a little irritating. Okay. Well, we can fix that. No big deal. So in that case, let's get one of these open blocks tanks, like so. We can wrench that around and get one of our pneumatic servos. By the way, yes, I ripped apart my quarry system because we won't be needing it to use it that way anymore. And we'll go to ignored. Okay. And then we can take our still. Well, it's not flooring out right there. And we can get our still in. That was not the best way to do this. Let me actually turn into a bat just so I can get a little bit lower down so I can look up at these things. So put our still here. And we will put our fluid export bus on the bottom of the tank. Okay. And then we're just going to configure it to export biomass. And you can see it's filling up the still as we speak. And that'll act as kind of a little bit of a buffer. Now, we're actually going to get 2 separate stills. Let me turn back into myself here. And we'll open up that wall. Now, I'm going to need a bunch more energy conduits because it right now goes up. And so we're going to have to come back over, like back through here to provide power to these things. I think I can just run it. If that's my out, right? That is my out? Yes, that's my out. Okay, good. So that means all I need is some redstone energy conduit, and I made a bunch of it last episode. Here's what we can do. Make it go through. Oh, Wait a second here. Where are you coming from, and what are you? You? How are you running? Where are you coming from? Are you just connected? Okay. Oh, okay, that's what I did. Alright. That awkward moment when you're like, wait a second, how the hell did I set this thing up? Like, no, really, what's going on here? Alright, so then we go to here. And then we'll go forward and under, alright? So let me just turn my jetpack on. And there's actually going to be a level below this thing. So let's go like this. Let's go down, under, over, and like that. And that's what I think I need to do from underneath this entire thing. And then I can go like this, like that, like this, 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 like, and connect. Awesome. And connect that. And then... And remember, these things are lossless, which is nice. And then we can run this stuff like this. And that. And that. And we should start getting that thing running. Awesome. And let me just see how my... It's all training from this one. Yep, that is running fine. So I'm going to make myself a second still there, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that solution with the biomass was actually incredibly temporary, and I just wanted to let you guys know that right now. So that was a temporary fix I put in place just to make sure that I could get this thing running vaguely correctly. In actuality, what's going to sit here are a pair of fluid import buses. So let me go out and grab some of those. I actually really just need one. Because remember that these fluid buses actually connect directly to Fluidox. Except for the export bus for some strange reason. I don't understand why. Are you missing something over there? No. Fluid import. There we go. Because my intent is to have it so the biomass actually really never touches the system. So let's let that drain down. And let's just remove that. Because sometimes these things can get a little tweaky with how they're working. So let me jump up here. Let's do that. And then let me wrench this guy around. Like that. Okay, good. I'll break that off. And then what we're going to do now is get that fluid duct. We'll go like that. Let's install. Pneumatic servos installed. Awesome. Awesome. And now we just need to wrench them around. Equally awesome. And get underneath this thing. Like that. And connect our import bus like that. And no. No, apparently not. Maybe. Actually. I don't think so. I think the facing's still wrong. Yes. The facing is in fact wrong. So let's roll that around. That's a little better. 3 million. So let's say if it gets to 3.1. So what we're going to do now, and I need to do some crafting for this, is we're going to make ourselves what's called a level emitter. a level emitter. In fact, a fluid level emitter. So what a level emitter does is it queries the system. And it says, hey, how much of this stuff do you got? And then depending on what it answers... Ooh, I don't have any redstone torches. Well, that's interesting. Then I need... What do I need? A stick. And then depending on what it answers, it does something or it doesn't do something. There we go. So what we can do is we can say if our tank, if our entire ME system has more than 3 million... What was this? 3,100,000 buckets, turn yourself off. Or rather, turn off the fluid bus. So we'll put that on. And remember, it can't connect on its facing side, so we're going to need a little bit more ME cable. Alright. And now, we're going to say, let's see how our fluid bus is configured here. Active without signal. Okay. So if it receives a redstone signal, it turns itself off. So what I'm going to say is 3100,000 of... Oopsies. Of that. There we go. And now let's just get a bucket of the biofuel from over here. Yoink, thank you. Above or equal to limit. Okay. So now it's turned itself off and everything should be running just fine. And this should be increasing in the amount of ethanol it has. Awesome. And let me come back in just a minute. Alright guys, so because we don't really have, rather I don't really have the time right now, to go through and hook up our biomass production on this side, all I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to shove my ender tank up here that was feeding my quarry. And I'm going to tell it, yeah, okay, so it's pulling out of it. Alright, that's fine. So this should be filling that up, this is pulling out, and it's sending all this stuff into that. Now, what's going to happen is I'm also going to have some biomass production right here or maybe up there. Basically someplace where this will all work out properly. Now, the cool thing is that this is being managed by my ME system. So I really don't have much to worry about. This is just going to run, you know. And I'm going to set it up in such a way that we aren't really going to have a lot of overflow. The system will be able to turn itself off and kind of intelligently self-regulate. Here are my covers. Just clean this up here. Now, the basic layout of what I'm doing is that each component of this, basically, is an individual... So, alright, let me turn my jetpack back on here. The way I'm going to lay this out is I have my tank room in the middle, and on each wing, I'm going to have these production facilities, basically, that are going to be like this is where I produce the ethanol. This will be where I produce the oil. This will be where I produce honey. This will be where I produce, get it? So on each layer, well, in the Navy they'd call them a frame. A frame would be like, okay, from here to here is one frame. Okay. Each frame will be a separate production along with the tank that's on that frame in that section. So the port starboard side. That way we're not going to have... Oh, I'm out of those. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let's do this. Where's my saw? Saw? Are you somewhere? Did I drop you somewhere and forget you? I very well might have, actually. So that way we're basically going to have everything all separated out. No, my saw's not in there. Hello? Saw? Where did you go? Probably in front of my face and I can't even see it. Glad to know we have plenty of fluid X laying around. So yes, that's my basic plan on how this entire thing is going to be run. And I think at least it's going to be pretty cool. So, this has been Mr. Kassarian. I hope you enjoyed playing around with fluid production, fluid storage, and a bit more applied energistics. It's a really cool way of handling liquids, even though I'm not really using its own internal storage system to store the liquids. It's just kind of, oh, I don't know. I find it's easier to work with these railcraft tanks and significantly less expensive. So, in the next episode, this tank room will probably be a little bit more complete, and you guys will be able to see how this entire system's going to work. And I just want to thank you guys for watching. This has been Mr. Kassarian. If you enjoyed the episode, give me a like, comment, and subscription. Let me know you're out there. As always, guys, happy mining.